So here's a full guide on how to complete the Terminus Easter egg on solo. This is a video basically compiled of the best tips and tricks on how to do this complete Easter egg on solo with ease, with no difficulty involved whatsoever. So I'm going to give you two weapons to use. The first one is the ASG shotgun. You will want to put the following attachments on it, and then once you have built this build of the shotgun, you will want to come over to Boyer and tap the left trigger to set it as a zombie build, so you can buy this off the wall. Second gun I'll give you is the GS45. Now I haven't got this lot unlocked, so the attachments you need will be on screen now. So jumping into it, you're going to want to do basically as the map tells you. So run to the generators and power the generators up, and just basically follow the indicators that the game is showing you basically. So just run around as you would, opening up the map. So I assume you've played Terminus before following this guide, so you should know how to turn the power on, but I'll show you anyway. So the first one is in spawn, the second one is just down from the communications, and then the third one is down in the lab areas. So all you're going to want to do is just power all the leads up, and then once you have got them all turned on, being the last one in the lab, as soon as the one in the lab is finished, you're going to want to jump into the water to lift the pack-a-punch like platform out of the water. So as soon as you've done all this, then we can move on to actually starting this Easter egg. So to do the first step of the Easter egg, we will need the wonder weapon. So you can either get this from hitting the mystery box or doing this. So you want to put dead wire onto your weapon and then come back over to the pack-a-punch platform and pay for it to basically ascend to the top. As it's ascending to the top, you'll want to shoot 3 power boxes on the way up with the weapon with dead wire on. So the first one is just in this window by here. As soon as you shoot it, you'll see it transport to this one, and then it will transfer to this one. So as soon as you've got all 3 of them, you want to then jump out of the lift and come over into the living quarters, and you will see another box sparking by here, and then it'll move to outside, and then once you've shot it again, it'll open up this room. Kill this zombie and you'll drop a fob. Pick up the fob and we can move to the next step. So for the next step, you need to turn on laptops around the map. So this is the first one just by the docks. This is laptop X. Then the second one is in the storage areas. This is laptop Y. Just interact with it so it turns on. And then laptop Z is just by the communications. So once you've turned all 3 of these laptops on, you will then want to basically make your way over to the C tower. Once in the C tower, you'll see like suitcase or briefcase with a hand attached to it on the table. Interact with it and it'll open and you'll be able to pick up an item. Pick this item up and then move on to the next step. So come back to the room that we opened with the dead wire and interact with this computer. Now you'll see you need a code. So on this computer you can see you've got 3 post-it notes, X, Y and Z. Using these, you want to go to the website linked in the description and input them onto you like I am doing now, and once you've inputted all the correct symbols, you will be given a code. This is the code that you are going to type into this computer. So once you've got that code, type it into the computer and then we can proceed on to doing the next part of this Easter egg. So once the code's inputted, you will want to end the round to go to a new round, and when you come back to the computer, you'll be able to pick up the item back out of the computer, and you'll see this computer is basically pinpointing a bit on the map. So for me, it was pinpointing the island to the right of the main island. So I'm going to make my way over to there from the docks on a boat, and you'll get to the island and you'll see like a blue orb sort of thing basically on the island. You want to come up to it, interact with it, and now for this part what we need to do is basically this blue orb is going to strike zombies. When it strikes a zombie, the zombie will be glowing a blue colour. So you're going to want to kill this zombie, and when you do kill this zombie, he is going to drop a smaller blue orb out of him, which then you're going to want to go up to and basically pick up like so, and run back into the bigger orb with it. Now it's going to shoot another zombie, and then you do the same, kill the zombie, pick up the orb and run it back into the bigger orb. It'll do this 2 to 3 times, so just repeat this 2 to 3 times, then you'll be able to pick the item back up off the floor and the orb will disappear. So for me now, the next island was the bottom island of the map, so I made my way over to there, and as you can see it's a green orb. Now run up to it, interact with it, and then same process as before, wait for the orb to shoot the zombies. This time they'll obviously be going green. Pick up the little orb, run into the big orb and repeat for 2 to 3 times. Obviously once you've done it the last time again, you will basically be able to pick the item up off the floor again and the orb will disappear. So just pick the item up and then make your way to the last island, the one you haven't been to yet. So for me it was the one at the top left of the map. So this time it will be a purple orb. Same goes again, run up to it, interact with it. You'll place the item onto the floor and then just wait for the orb to shoot the zombie, kill the zombie, pick up the smaller orb and run it back into it. But this time once you've done it, you'll get a flash of white and then you'll be able to pick the item up again, run back to the room we opened up with the dead wire ammo mod, and you will be able to craft the beam smasher. So from this point onwards now we will actually be able to start with the main Easter egg itself. So what you want to do first is, with the beam smasher that we've just made, you'll want to pack-a-punch it to level 1 or more, but as long as it's pack-a-punch at least once. Then once you've done that, you want to come over to these tentacle traps. So that was the first one. Then you've got this second one, and then there is a third one. You should know what it is, but you want to find the one with this red key card by it. Once you've found it, activate the trap and you want to shoot the tentacles with the beam smasher and it'll drop this hard drive. So once you've got this hard drive, go up to Dr. Peck and you will be able to place it into this little box on the wall and basically give the hard drive to him. So once you've done that, come into the interrogation rooms where the quick revive is, and you will want to look at this clock. So this is one of 3 numbers that we are going to need. So you want to look at what the hour hand is on. So as you can see, mine is on 3. Yours it might be yours probably is going to be different, so don't take mine. See what the hour hand is in your game. So the second number in the sequence that we will be having is this one. This is a playing card, and we will have to take the number that's on this playing card, and this will be the second number in our sequence of numbers. The third and final one is this safety first day since last injury poster in the engineering room. So as you say, my number was 338. You want to come down to the biolabs and interact with this big canister thing now, and you'll see the window pop open and a face pop up in it. Come back to it, interact with it, and you'll be able to type that code we just got. So as you can see, mine was 338. So I'll type that in, and now the status will say change to from locked to unlocked. Once done, you want to make sure you're ready, got everything packed, and come up to this pressure relief valve, interact with it, and you'll be put into a mini lockdown. So in this mini lockdown, you will basically have this super strong amalgam called Nathan, and you will basically just need to kill him. So your main focus of fire is on him. Try and kill the zombies off, but they ain't your main intentions of this. Your main focus is to try and kill him. So as soon as you do successfully kill him, you will be put into what is like a mini cutscene. You can skip this, it's up to you if you want to watch it or not, but once it's past the cutscene, you want to come into the water and there will be a golden ID card somewhere in the water. So as you can see, this is where it was for me. You want to pick this up and then we can proceed to the next part. So for the next part, you want to get into a boat and make your way over to the big shipwrecked boat and go into the underground passage of it. You'll see this ladder. If you start to climb up this ladder, this hatch will open up for you. Now when you come into this room, when you pick up one of these connectors, the game will basically put you into a lockdown. Just survive this lockdown, and then at the end of the lockdown you will be provided with a max ammo and the hatch will open up again. So once you've got the connector and you've left the room, there will be 3 pipelines around the map, 2 which are missing the connectors. So for me, the first one was on this island, which is the bottom island on the TAC map. So you come up to it, interact with it, and you'll connect it. You'll then want to run back to the room where you just done the basically little lockdown to and pick up the other connector. So the second place where one of these pipelines can be is underneath the sea tower. As you can see, it was there for me, and it was missing the part. So if them 2 was already fixed in your game, then this is the third and final location just around from the speed cola. Once you've fixed both of these pipelines back up together, so obviously 2 will be missing in your game, come back, talk to Dr. Peck, and you'll get this hacking device. So once you've got this hacking device, you want to make your way down to the docks and jump onto a boat again. So following the route that I go, you want to go to this dinghy over here, which has got a satellite on it. So you want to try and get the boat as close as possible to this dinghy as you possibly can. Obviously take out any parasites or anything that are surrounding this area, so you're not getting damaged. Come up next to it, hold the interaction button, and you'll start to hack this dinghy. Now once you've hacked this first one, you will be put onto a timer, so you need to do this quickly. So following the route that I take, the next one that's got the satellite on it is the one next to the shipwrecked boat. These are the same all the time, so you don't need to find different ones. Just follow the route that I am and you should be absolutely fine. Again, just kill off any parasites and anything that's dealing damage to you. Then hold the interaction button again until you start to hack it. As soon as you've hacked it, then we can make our way to the third and final one. Obviously again, bear in mind you are on a timer, so you want to do this as quick as possible. So following the route again, going past the shipwrecked boat, coming down towards this way of the map, this is where the third and final one you can find is. Again, just pull up next to it, kill off any of the parasites that are basically dealing damage to you, hold your interaction button so you start hacking it again, and that will be the third and final one. Once you've done that, obviously if you've done it correctly in time, your screen will basically flash white, and this is an indicator to say you have done it. So this next part is very important. You must do this as quick as possible. So for this part, I suggest having smoke grenades or decoy grenades or monkey bombs, and putting these 2 augments onto the Juggernaut perk, which you can see on screen now. So this will basically act as a shield on your back using these augments when you're trying to do these diffusers. So again, you want to do this as quick as possible as you are on a timer, and if you don't do it quick enough, the map will basically blow up and it'll be game over for you. So again, do this as quick as possible. So them augments, like I said, these will basically act as a shield on your back if you've got the Juggernaut perk on, which will help deal damage if zombies get through your smoke or the decoy grenades or monkey bombs run out and you're still in the middle of defusing them. So just come up to them, interact with them, defuse them. There are 3 diffuses you need to do, so obviously they're the first 2 on them bottom levels, and then there is one up on the higher level, which obviously if you follow the route that I'm taking, you should have no problem in finding it at all. So once you get to the third and final one, just come and defuse it as you did with the first 2, and as soon as you have defused it, you will be basically displayed with a screen of white again, and that'll say you have completed this step. So now you're more or less ready to go into the boss fight. So what I suggest doing now is basically getting your perks together. I would only really suggest having PhD Flopper, Juggernaut, Speed Cola and Stamina up on really. Obviously PhD Flopper you only need if you're using the GS45s. If you're using the shotgun, then it really isn't necessary. But obviously displaying on screen now, these are the different pack-a-punch levels and rarities that you're going to want to have on your weapons depending on the round that you're on going into this. Obviously make sure you got self-res and probably take decoys and monkey bombs in with you. So once you're ready to go in, come and interact with this door, and this will basically take you straight into the boss fight. So obviously when you get into your world display like a little cutscene at first. You can skip this cutscene, you don't have to necessarily watch it, you can just skip it. But if you want to watch it, then obviously you can watch it, but I always tend to skip it. So there are 3 phases to this boss fight, this being the first one. Obviously I'll take you through them at every point and you get to a different stage of it. But this being the first stage of it, this one you will see little red glowing like spore bits on the side of him. These are the bits that you're going to want to shoot to damage him. These are his critical points and the place where they're going to deal the most damage. So I don't really make my way around the arena. You're better off staying at the back and using these 2 containers as cover. So just keep making your way back and forth, and if you time everything rightly, when he does this slam attack or the swipe attack, it will basically clear off any enemies that are following behind you, like so. So this is a great way to basically use the boss to destroy the enemy, well, basically kill off all the enemies without you having to worry about them, and you can basically focus all fire onto him. So just keep running back and forth from the back by here, and obviously trying to take out these red little orb bits on him. So once you've dealt enough damage, you'll see that his health bar and he disappears. So the main part of this now is you basically just need to wait this out, avoiding the tentacles on the outside of the arenas, as these will be shooting projectiles at you. Just wait it out, and then eventually, once enough time is passed, he'll spawn back in. He will be now fiery sort of looking colour, and the place that you need to be aiming now is in his mouth. His mouth is basically the middle lower part of his body. You'll see it glowing, the brightest glowing part of him. You'll basically need to rain fire into his mouth in order to deal the most amount of damage. So again, using the same route, running back and forth to these 2 posts, letting his tentacles, slams and swipes take out any enemies that are following beyond. So just keep shooting into his mouth, dealing damage, and then eventually, once you've dealt enough damage, it will basically change to his left and right tentacles, which are now his weaker points. So if you shoot the yellow parts of these tentacles, this is where the most damage is going to be dealt. So you want to just keep focus on this left and right tentacle now, and then once you've dealt enough damage again, it will basically reinvert back to the phase 1, so these little red spore bits on the sides of it. So just keep shooting these little red spore things again once you get to this part, and you'll basically see his health bar and him disappear. This will bring us into the 3rd phase of the boss fight. So for the 3rd phase, this arena will be locked off into 2 different parts. The only way you can get from side to side is by jumping in the water and going up the ladders. Obviously going up these ladders can be sometimes quite risky, as zombies will be waiting at the top of them for you. So you'll see he is now like an ice sort of colour. You want to basically just shoot him, and then eventually he will go out of this ice mode and you will see these little red spore things on the side of him again. Just shoot these to deal the most amount of damage. Obviously you can see he's doing this tongue attack. Avoid getting touched by this tongue because he will drag you in and insta down you. This is another new attack, which is a supercharged slam like shot thing, which will take out all enemies that are on the platform. To avoid this, you need to jump in the water or behind one of these platform like objects either side of the arena. So once you continue doing this enough, just keep shooting him, training from side to side, letting his tentacle attacks and that take out the enemies, shoot the red spores, and then eventually, once you've dealt enough damage, you will have successfully completed the boss fight on Terminus.